Hello again. So now we're going to review Blackboard, which is the main program that we use to communicate throughout the semester. It's where you turn in assignments. It's where you watch videos, where you download and upload information, email. So it's pretty much the main hub for all that takes place with it for the semester. So let's go ahead without further ado. Let's go ahead and I'm going to review Blackboard. I'm going to disappear for just a bit, and I'll be talking in the background. And keep an eye on my mouse, computer mouse. There we go. So when you first uh, go to the internet, you go to Sul Ross State University, you're going to go to Quick Links, then you're going to go to Blackboard. Oh, by the way, while we're here, might be a good idea to go in. If you want to check your emails, you go to email here, the email feature here. You press that, go to email. Of course, put your username and your password. If you don't have one, make sure you get with the registrar's office and get one, or the student services and get your username and password. Okay, you sign in and you'll have the different emails that have come through. Okay, so once you're in, this is what it looks like. The first thing you're going to notice, you want to make sure you're in the right. Um, let me see, no, let's exit out. Let's exit out the email. I want to start you from the very beginning. So you're here. You're going to go to Quick Links, and then you're going to go to Blackboard. Once you go to Blackboard, you're going to log in. Uh, once you, actually, before we get to the login, there's some other features that are identified here. Good information for you, student resources, um, additional information support services, some updates and videos. For example, if you want to become more astute in navigating through Blackboard, there's all kinds of other software programs that are affiliated with Blackboard that we don't use customarily. However, it's a really good resource for you. And the Blackboard help, it's identified here. You have Sandy Bogus and Rusty Klein. These are the individuals that are mentioned in your syllabus, so who to contact strictly for Blackboard, not IT department, okay? So if it's Blackboard related, you contact these individuals. Uh, they're not going to know much about your network, about your computer. You know, they strictly work on Blackboard features, okay? So let's go and log in. We log in, and that's what it's going to look like. Okay, it's going to look like this. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're in the right um, course. Education 6352 is this particular course. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to notice the, the particular sub menus that are on here. So for example, you have an orientation submenu, you have a communication submenu, reading materials, assignment submenu, tools submenu. Okay. Now, under the orientation, the first thing you're going to do before the semester begins, you're going to watch these particular videos. There's 6 videos you need to watch before you start the semester. Now, I mean, it's mandatory. You have to watch these videos. It's not a choice. You have to. It's required. But although it is required, I give you 10 extra points for each particular video you watch through. Uh, and what we'll do with those 10 points, it's a total of 60 points, and I'll add those 2 points to your final grade. So if you have a B, you'll end up with an A if you're that board close to that borderline area. So let's go to syllabus. You go to syllabus. You'll have a password. Sometimes the password will be in there. If not, it is student Sul Ross student. It's all one word. Capital SULROSSSTUDENT. Again, it's capital S for Sul, capital R for Ross, capital S for student. All together, one word. Okay. You're gonna hit watch video. You'll watch the video.
Okay, we're moving right
That's
along.
me.
Now let's go ahead and
And
review
I'm
the
explaining
syllabus.
everything you need to know about the syllabus. Okay. So if I start hearing questions in class that either one, you didn't watch the video or you didn't pay much attention to it because you can watch it as many times as you want. So, I mean, feel free to ask me questions. Don't get me wrong. feel free to ask me questions. However, don't use that as the only resource. Make sure you watch these videos um, and become very familiar with the particular topics. Now, this is the format that I use for all my classes. So watching these videos is going to help you, uh, deal with a lot of the mechanical issues that often happen, or the technical issues that often happen, and prevent a person from truly enjoying the course. Okay, so make sure that you watch all these videos from an introduction of the particular coursework, the program, how to navigate through Blackboard, collaborate, which is a feature that we use on a weekly basis, and watch this video, and you'll learn more about how to use it, how to look at previous recordings, and things of that sort. Technical skills, how to upload, download, paste, submit assignments, how to send an email. And of course, your syllabus review, and then reflective learning, which is really the essence of the method that I use for developing your skills. Is I use a lot of reflective learning. So you want to become very familiar as to the process or the concept that I use to employ a lot of my assignments, a lot of the assignments that I hope will help reach those course and module outcomes. Okay. Now, as far as communication, if you want to know a little bit more about your professor, this is your professor. This is where you can contact me. This is where I'm located in Del Rio, room 12, building N. And make sure that you email me or call me. I'm very quick in answering my phone or responding back to you. If I don't answer, leave me a message and I will get back with you. Okay. If you want to visit with me, the most efficient, most effective way is to contact me by email and phone, and then we can set up a time to meet virtually. In other words, we can see each other through Collaborate, and I'll set up a meeting time that you and I can meet to discuss whatever concerns, questions that you might have. Okay. And if you need to see me in person for whatever reason, I can do that too. However, it may take a little bit longer to meet with me than virtual meetings. So, and it's very confidential as well. So, uh, contact me if you need to. Okay. So under communication, you have the professor information, email, how to email your peers, or email me. So, for example, if you want to email me something, go single selector user, look for my name, and I'm right here, Simon Garcia. And you're going to forward it, hit the arrow, it goes into this column. You're going to write subject question about assignment 6. And and then you're going to write me a small note, whether, more information you give me, that better it is for me to respond to you with a more accurate response and content of what you need to, to know. And then you hit submit, and it submits the email. If you want a courtesy copy for yourself that show proof that you did send me an email, you want to check this box right here. Or if you want to attach a file, you can attach it right here. Now, remember something, that technology is technology. Sometimes things do go bad, and Del Rio, Eagle Pass, and Uvalde, we get hit with some pretty severe thunderstorms. So in the event that, or something happens that you can't use the features to attach assignments or things of that sort, email me. Always default to email. You can email me your assignments, uh, and I'll make sure and get back with you, because that we don't want to use that as the source for transmitting assignments and that type of communication. But sometimes it does happen. Always default to email me, to email, so you'll always be on your deadline, at your deadline to meet whatever assignment uh, that has been set for the due date. Okay, I'm going to hit cancel. You would hit submit. All right, and then the calendar, which is a feature that I'm really not using at this point in time. I plan to use it in the future, but at this present time, I'm not using the calendar. Under reading materials, here where you'll find out what textbook we'll be using for the semester. Sometimes it's textbooks. And this is your APA citation, and tells you a little bit about your book, your ISBN number. You can find these at the bookstore or whatever source you use to purchase your books. And this is an estimated price. This is not going to be the price, but it's an estimated price. Okay, it fluctuates depending on where you get your book from, and also the quality of your book and the type of book that you get. Sometimes it can be an ebook. All my books are ebooks. And then here's where you'll also find your syllabus. You're going to notice that in this particular section, as soon as you go to the attached files, if you click this, I'm using a Mac computer, so it has a certain way of downloading stuff. I hit OK, and it'll dump into my download folder down here. The PC does the same thing. It's going to download it. It just puts it into a different type of file. But it's the same thing. You go to your attached files, you click on this, and it'll download it into your download folder. And you can print it, you can keep a digital copy of it, or you can actually view it online. So I attached it here. So for example, we meet on Thursdays at 6. Semester spring 2017. I'm your professor. This is my email address, my office phone number, and this is where you can contact me. Even though we have these time frames, because we're now in the virtual world, you can see me, I can see you to collaborate. We have a lot more flexibility, so I'm a lot more accessible. So that's really good. Counseling program, you want to go to our website for the counseling program. You would click on here, and it tells you a lot about what's going on in the counseling program. We're always updating. This is something fairly new, and so don't be surprised if it's under maintenance because we're adding stuff to it. For example, the Fiesta Week, that celebration that we're going to have at a particular time of the year to celebrate the counseling students in the program, and even alumni as well. If you want to know who the dean is and you want to speak with her, this is how you get in touch with her. This is her site, so you would just click on here, and you would go and you would click on the title here, HTTP, and this is your dean for Sul Ross State University of Rio Grande College, Dr. Mendes. Okay, it tells you a little bit about her history, her education, and background as well. Now, let me exit out of here. If you want to know who the department chair is for the educational department, it is Dr. Monica Gutierrez. Some of you may know her because she is a counseling professor. So, but she is also she was just recently promoted to that particular position. So that's probably why they're updating her file. Dr. Monica Gutierrez is the department chair for the entire educational department. However, she is a counseling professor. If you need to get in touch with her, you can do that as well. Okay, let's exit out of this. And let's exit out of this. And this is your required text again and your syllabus. There's two particular books. These are the prerequisites that you need, or you need my authorization or your professor's or instructor's authorization to allow you into the book, into the course. This is the course purpose, the description, goal, the objectives, really the three designated segments, which includes knowledge, skills, and awareness. And to break it down even further, when you're looking at the modular learning outcomes, this particular course objective, course goal, or course objective has two particular module objectives. So the first column is the course objective. The second column is your module outcome. So what's a modular outcome? Really, it's more specific. The course objective, it gives you an essence of what we hope to accomplish throughout the semester in your education and your skill development, but it's not very specific. The modular outcome, it's more specific of what we hope that you will learn and gain from taking this course. The third column will tell you when that particular module is designated to be taught or shared with you. Week 1, week 2, and this is the method. Column 4 is the method that we're going to use um, to share some of that education and develop your skills. It's going to come through, for example, in this particular module, it's going to come in the form of weekly quizzes, video reflection, your final exam, and collaborate classroom discussion, which happens to be a very important feature in your coursework and developing your skills. And as I mentioned, this particular course objective has two modular objectives spread out over 5 weeks, and the methods are pretty much the same for these particular modular objectives. Then you have the second course objective. This particular one has two different modular objectives. It's covered over week 6 and week 7, and this is the method that we use uh, to provide that information to you. And it goes on and on and on, all the way to the course. Now, as far as talking about American with Disabilities Act, sometimes we get the students who have some disability of some sort, and we definitely don't want that to hinder anybody from pursuing their dream or their goals or their educational endeavors. So we will do everything we can to, as much as we can within our limitations, to assist in any way that we can. Definitely, we have a designated representative specialists, the student services specialists assigned uh, for anybody who's experiencing some level of disability that needs assistance. And I'll see, we're going to just scroll down just a little bit. Let's see here. Well, it's really Miss Kathy Biddick, but I'll give you some more information on how to get in touch with her. It's here in your syllabus, and she's part of the support student support services. If you want to know a little bit more about what services student services offers, you're welcome to go to their particular site in the Sol Ross webpage. And you go here, and you click on here, and it tells you all about student services from tutoring to writing centers. Very important when you're writing reflection papers or research papers. They will assist you and not write the paper for you, but they will assist you as you're going through that particular assignment. And these are some of the things that they're responsible for: class rings, ordering your class rings, counseling services, because now we have counseling services available for students or individuals in each particular university site. Forms that you're going to need: health services, student organizations, tools, SGA for those that want to get involved in student government affairs and help guide, some of the governmental structures that happen within the university system as a student. All right, let's exit out of this. Okay, student services. And these are your student service representatives: Del Rio, Eagle Pass, and Uvalde. Julia Lerete, I believe, is leaving or has left. Uh, and I'll make sure and update this once I find out who exactly is going to be replacing Ms. Alderete. But regardless of who's there, this is the phone number that you would contact in Del Rio, and they will assist you with any student services needs that you need. As far as technology requirements, um, you have hardware and system requirements. Because this is a technologically driven course, it's very important that your computer be up to date in meeting some of the hardware specifications and make sure it has the right software. So, for example, right now you may notice that I have three particular browsers downloaded. I want to have all three readily available for me. So in case one malfunctions, I can access the other one. For example, I don't know if it's a Mac thing or an Apple thing or a PC thing. I don't know, but if it's an Apple thing, because I can only attach files with Safari. I can't upload file with Chrome or Firefox. So Firefox is highly recommended uh, for you throughout the semester. So that's the browser you want to use for collaborate or Blackboard in this case. And if you have a PC, you're not going to have Safari, but you'll have maybe the big E, with blue E, which is Explorer. All right. So your best bet is make an appointment with the IT department. Take your desktop. I know it may be big and bulky, but take it with you. Take your laptop, your iPad, your phone, whatever, and have them take a look at the hardware. Make sure that it meets the specifications. Also, take with you um, a description of what type of network you have at home. Some of you have a, what is it, a Spectrum, Google, or whatever's available, whatever you use for a network to go to the internet. Get some specifications so that you'll let the IT guy know, or the IT person know, what you have at home, so they'll know how to direct you and guide you and advise you. Now, it's going to be very, very important. One thing that causes a lot of disconnections and collaborate when we're communicating, or what makes it hard to see you and things of that sort, is when too many people in your home are using your network. Okay, so for example, if I was to use my phone, as soon as I get close to my house, what happens? My phone automatically signs on onto the internet, into the network with the Wi-Fi. So what I highly recommend you do is when it's time to sign into class, make sure you tell your family members and all those who have access to the Wi-Fi to disconnect it for that moment while you're in class. This will help. This will prevent slowing down your network. Okay, so that's just some pointers for you, because uh, if I begin to see a pattern where you're constantly being disconnected and it interrupts class. It's And not just that, you miss out on very important information. Sometimes students may bring up really good, strong points, and we've had a good point of discussion, but you missed it because you got disconnected. Now, sometimes things happen, and I understand that. However, if I begin to see a pattern and it's outlined, um, for example, if you get disconnected 3 times, and it's happening more, I'm just going to require you to go to the computer lab in whatever university is closest to you and take the course from that point forward, okay? Because it's interrupts as well, and you miss out on information. We don't want that to happen. So get your computer looked at. Give the IT people your specifications of your Wi-Fi, your network, your home network, and then encourage your family members not to use the Wi-Fi while you're in class. Okay, these are some of the specifications. Whether you have a Windows, PC, or a Mac, it's pretty general. It doesn't require a lot of speed or anything like that. So pretty much all the computers that are sold these days, and for the last 5 years, you're okay. If you need particular browsers, you can download them here or Macs here. Same thing with other features. Some things might cost you. Uh, Microsoft Word shouldn't because you're as a student. I think you get access to that, so I think you'll be okay with that. Adobe Acrobat Reader's free. Okay. So regardless of what software you download, these are the download hyperlinks. The technical skills needed. I have a video just for that, how to attach your assignments, as I mentioned before. Make sure if anything should go wrong, I don't want you to panic. You have the syllabus, you know when something is due, quizzes and all any assignments that are assigned are due 2 days prior to the next meeting date. Okay, midnight. So just submit it to me. If for some reason you have difficulty using some of the features here, for whatever reasons, email it to me. Okay, whether you email to me from your personal computer, your personal email. I prefer it come from your Saul Ross email. However, if your entire software is down or whatever, and you have, let's say, Google, go and email it to me to my email address. Your assignment, attach it, send it to me. Okay. Always default to email. You're always welcome to call me. As I mentioned, I'm fairly quick about responding back. So so make sure that you default to email. But again, this is only as a last resort. Okay. Um, so we will look into it. We'll do some troubleshooting. However, I'm not the IT person. I would sometimes, if it's something more serious, I'll definitely recommend you to go see the IT person. Okay. Do not call Sandy Bogus or Mr. Klein. Those are just individuals that work strictly for Blackboard issues. Okay. Make sure you go to the IT department for anything else. Okay. As previously mentioned, our Blackboard is set up with these 5 particular submenus. There's an orientation where you have all the videos. Communication is how to get in touch with me, your email, and things of that sort. Reading assignments, that's your textbook, your syllabus, and articles that sometimes I'll have you read throughout the semester and then respond to them just like you do the video reflections. And then you have your assignments and tools. Okay, you'll be spending more time getting the assignments because collaborates in there and all different quizzes and things of that sort. Video reflections are there, and tools, things that you're going to need throughout the semester that or you may need, okay, such as phone numbers or know what the hardware specifications are, etc. Okay, Blackboard representatives, it's Miss Sandy Bogus and Rusty Klein. This is her email, and these are their phone numbers. And Sandy is excellent, wonderful people, very helpful. The collaborative streaming tells you a little bit about it, how to access it, and as I mentioned, make sure that we don't start seeing patterns of lost connections. Okay, even though it's an excuse, it's not a good excuse throughout the semester. This is an enhanced video streamlining course. Okay, it's very important that I view you, I see you as you're interacting, as you're talking, how you're responding. It's very important for skill development. Okay? But sometimes I'll pick up on certain things and I'll make certain comments, certain statements, ask some probing, evoking questions for a reason. Okay, and it's always have you in mind in developing your counseling skills. All right. These are the individuals that you will call in case you have IT issues. Okay, and here we go. Miss Kathy Biddick, this is her phone number. She's out of Uvalde, and this is her email. If you have anybody with disabilities and needs assistance with computer software, to readers, or things of that sort, this is who you would contact. Anything, any disability issue, this is who you would contact. We are a diverse university, predominantly Latino, of Mexican descent. However, we're not limited to just that. We have a diverse group. So when you're interacting with people, make sure you're respectful of the other person's culture. Sometimes of a certain culture, you may get offended because a person brings out a particular point the way they do. And sometimes people will take things personal. It's not that it's personal, that's just the way they communicate. So be very careful in passing judgment because that's one thing you want to learn early on in the counseling program is that judgment is kept internally. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. You'd be non-human if you don't. It's part of an interpretation process that we use. However, it's how we respond to it that we want to be very careful. Okay, and if any issues come up, and they certainly have on occasion sparingly, and I'll address it in real time. Okay, I'm not going to allow it to fester. I'm not going to let anybody disconnect at the end of the class and feel horrible about a certain thing because it was left unsaid. We will deal with issues as they come up as well, but just be respectful to other individuals and their culture. Scholastic misconduct. It is what it is. Just be very careful in what you're doing. Um, uh, Everything's pretty much straightforward. The biggest issue that I see with people that with students that cause problems outside of their personality and home issues that are going on. If you do have some issues that are going on, we, I guess I mentioned, we have counseling centers now. Make sure you use those facilities. Okay, uh, talk with me about whatever's going on. We don't want you to resort to some kind of misconduct behavior, some kind of cheating or anything of that sort, because it does you a disservice. Okay, so you're not an undergraduate. Not that undergraduates are irresponsible, but you're a graduate student, so you chose this particular field for a reason. So it's anticipated that we're going to see some of your passion behind this particular career field that you chose. So invest yourself in gaining that understanding. Sometimes you feel vulnerable to certain things that you're uncomfortable with, but that's also part of you learning more about yourself. Very, very important when you're dealing with clients. You know, uh, so feeling vulnerable is only one part of growing and developing your skills as a counselor. So really, if there's some issues, I'd rather you speak to someone, speak to me, speak to a counselor before resorting to anything that would cause you to compromise your integrity. Maintain your etiquette at all times when you're speaking. As I mentioned, leave your camera on. Okay, I don't. There was one particular semester where I had to repeat myself so many times, and I don't want to have to do that. Uh, the syllabus is here. I've mentioned it on several occasions. Leave your video on. Okay, and very, very important. Okay, attendance and your introduction and participation section at the beginning of every class, at the beginning of the first day in class, of the class, you will introduce yourself. And at minimum, these are some sub bullets right here. Some of the things that I want you to mention. I don't want you to skip any. If you want to add a little bit more to it, that's fine. Okay, just keep it to 10 minutes, 5 minutes if you can. Less than 5 minutes, really. Your full name, place of birth, place you were raised, describe your family or your culture that best describes. Sometimes you really don't have biological parents, and maybe your family was something you don't want to remember, but you had a culture that bred you, as a social environment that did, where you were raised. So describe that culture if anything. All right, your interest in what your undergraduate degree was all about. What made you decide to get into that particular field of study? And then, of course, your rationale for entering the counseling program, what you hope to accomplish with the counseling training, and how you conclude this to be an important part of you. Okay? Personalize it, in other words. Let the students know, your other students know about you, because we're going to get to know each other very well when you go into the professional setting outside, when you gain your LPC, you earn your LPC. You can have colleagues that you're going to refer to each other, and that's very important. So start developing these networks now. And just FYI, we all have issues. Um, we all have vulnerabilities. That's part of being human. Okay. So don't let that hinder you from developing strong networks. So if you're an introvert, if you consider yourself an introvert, don't let that fear of whatever it is hinder you from developing networks. Okay. And you can start by developing your network with your peers. Attendance is worth 100 points. This is the only feature that I will grade manually. So I do keep a roster of your attendance with every class session, and I don't just check at the beginning. I check throughout the entire class. So if I see you disconnecting, it's going to affect your grade. You will not get to 100 points. In addition to that, if I begin to see a pattern, I will call you. We will talk individually. Okay. Signing in late is not good. It interrupts the class. People view when you're signing on, and you miss content. So keep that to a bare minimum, uh, and be there on time. Okay. As far as late work, really shoot for no late work. I mean, well, that's a pretty strong generalized statement. Keep it down to a bare minimum. Uh, you don't want to be always catching up. It gets monotonous and confusing sometimes. So because you have such versatility in attaching and doing things, and I had one student who literally called me from signed on from Puerto Rico. She was adamant about not missing class, and she turned in her assignments while she was in Puerto Rico. Didn't skip a beat. Okay, so that's the benefit of having taken a course like this through enhanced video streamlining. Okay, the grading and feedback, as I mentioned, I will make sure you turn in all your assignments 2 days prior to the next meeting date, midnight, and that gives me time to grade and also give you feedback because it's okay for the true and false questions. But the fill in the blanks, I need to look at those and I will give you some feedback. If it's a video reflection, I'll give you some feedback on what I noticed. Sometimes I'll ask a question, but it's a rhetorical question. It doesn't require you to respond to my question. It's something I want you to think about. Okay. If you ever have any questions about anything, your grading or anything, email me, call me. All right. Now, this is your grading matrix. The particular feature you have your collaborate, in which you get 100 points. We have 100 points that you will gain for each class session. Video reflection. You have 13 videos that you will watch. Sometimes one particular assignment will have two videos within. Okay, and they're each worth 120 points. Quizzes are 10 points. You have 10 of them, and they're worth 100 points each, with a total of 1,000 points. Movie reflection paper. Sometimes, and it depends on what course you're taking with me, sometimes this movie reflection paper will be a research paper, which will be 10 pages. Front page is a title page, second page is a reference page, so a total of 12 pages. The content is 10 pages. Okay, that's worth 120 points. And then you have your final exam that's worth 100 points. Advocacy and campaign from this particular is a particular project within this course. Sometimes you'll have, for example, bilingual and bicultural counseling. You do a genogram or whatever other assignment you'll have here. It'll be worth 100 points. Sometimes it's an oral presentation or something of that sort. Your objective is to get points between 3670 and 4180 to give you an A. That's what you want. Okay. As I mentioned, those video introductions, you watch all six, that's 60 points right off the bat that you get. Uh, but if you claim you watched it and you're asking me the question about how to do certain things, I'll remove those points from you and we'll talk as well. Okay. Video article reflection. Now we're going specific about the details of these particular assignment methods. So it tells you a little bit about it, what we hope to accomplish, how many total points. Um, let's see something. Okay, and these are your rubrics for each particular. So, for example, when you watch a video and article, these are the rubrics in which I use to grade. Okay, so if you want to consider yourself an advanced student, you need to get 30 points in this particular competency, 30 points for this competency, and 30 points for this competency. It's four, yeah. So that's 30, 60, 90, 120. So let's say, for example, um, you have movie reflection paper, same thing. So if you get 30 points here, 30 points here, I'll put 30 points here. If you get 30 points here, I'll put it here. 30 points here, I'll put it here. 30 points here, 30 points here. So and that's what I'll use to determine what level you're at. So if you want to gauge yourself, you'll know where you're at because you're scoring, let's say 30 here, 30 here, 30 here, 20 here. Well, that's what? That's 90. That's 110 points. So you're at a superior level. So keep that in mind. So use your rubric as a gauge into your assignments. When you're watching videos, when you're watching a movie, and that you have to reflect upon, print this out. Have this by your side, a notepad, make some notes, and know how to respond to it from that perspective. Put your movie on pause, and then make your notation based on that rubric. Quizzes tells you a little bit about the quizzes. You have 10 quizzes. Then you have your final exam, which is a 50 question exam. True and false, multiple choice, fill in the blank. Advocacy campaign. This is the particular project, and this is what I look at. I'm going to be looking at for that particular project is you get 14.29 points when you demonstrate a certain level of knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, evaluations, creativity. Okay, and the most important by far is the outline. So, for example, week one, January 16th, the only thing we'll be doing this day is introductions. Any questions that we have, but I will assign this is your first reading assignment, and the quiz is based upon this reading material. Then your video reflection is your reflection. So these will be due 2 days prior to this day. Okay. So I give you the assignment for you to prepare for, and then we talk about it. So on January 23rd, the first part of the class will talk about this, reinforce some of these questions, reinforce some of these responses and knowledge, understanding skills or whatever. And then the other part will start by talking about what you will be seeing in the next section as well. And it goes on and on and on. So this tells you when things are due, when assignments are due. Okay. So for example, if we go to March 20th, chapter 2, this particular book, chapter 2 of this particular book, this quiz is based on chapter 2 of this reading material. And the video reflection and the video reflection 9, that's what that's about. So this will be due 2 days prior to this date right here. Okay. And of course, your movie reflection paper and your final exam are going to be due the last day of class. It gives me enough time to grade and read your papers. All right. So that's it on the syllabus. But we went into great detail there. And let's see here. Oops, sorry about that. Okay. Assignments. Assignments. You have Collaborate. We'll meet every Thursday at 6 p.m. Weekly quizzes. This is how you access. Well, you always go to Collaborate. Well, you have Collaborate video, so we won't go into that. Let's go back into quizzes. Let's go back to assignments, weekly quizzes. All right. And this particular feature, I get to tell you a little bit about what we hope to, what I hope that you will gain from these particular assignments, as I mentioned to you in your course objectives and your course objective and your modular objectives, and it describes it here. And it also explains to you how to take these particular quizzes. So, for example, quiz one, this is where module outcome one is identified and where we hope to accomplish this, where you hopefully you'll meet this particular outcome. So, what you do to access the quiz, you're going to select the title and then just begin your quiz, and the questions will pop up. It'll give you your what you got wrong, what you got right, and I can give you some feedback. Again, you turn it in 2 days prior to the next class meeting. It gives me enough time to give you feedback as well. All right, so that's it for the quizzes. You have 10 quizzes, and that's what that looks like. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, scroll, 10 quizzes. Okay, the next assignment is video article reflections. Most of them are going to be video reflections. I get you to watch a video clip, maybe 20 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. Uh, these are the course objectives, what we hope to accomplish with these video reflections. This is your APA citation for video reflection number one. So when you see your syllabus BR1, this is it right here. And what you do is you're going to select the title, and then you select the title again. You're going to watch the video and play.
Warren,
You'll watch
welcome
the
to the
video.
committee.
Okay. And then what you're going to do is then once you're done watching the video, you're going to hit reply. And you're going to have this section that's going to show up here down here in the bottom. And here's where you enter your comments. Do not write anything on Microsoft Word and then attach it. Browse it. Do not do that. I want you to write your comments in here, 2 to 3 paragraphs. Get straight to the point. Look at your rubric, and I'm going to show you how to get to that rubric in a minute. And then just hit submit. And then you hit OK. And you'll submit it. Okay? So the rubric, I put it right at the very front. And there's 2, 3 places it's going to show up, and you always have access to it. However, I put it up in front. Let's review it really quickly. Let's see here. Let's see, video reflections. Okay, so this is a rubric right here, and I put it on every assignment. So what you're going to do is you find this down arrow, you click that, and then you open it. There it is. Print it out. Have it by your side. It tells you exactly what to expect. Okay. Now the next assignment is your movie reflection paper. And I'm either going to post the movie on here, or I may direct you to what movie you need to watch, and then you rent it, you will watch it, get together as a group, whatever you want to do, but you will watch the video. Sometimes because of copyright issues, I'm not able to post the video. Uh, so if I post the videos because we have copyright access. Okay, but sometimes I'll give you, I'll tell you what video you have to watch and do that on your own. Okay. For example, so it'll look something like this. I'll give you a password, and you're going to watch it. Watch the video, hit play, and the movie will begin to show. Okay, and that's what you want. And then you're going to write a paper on in your yeah, you're going to use Microsoft Word to write your paper. And I even give you a template, a reflection paper template that you can use. Of course, you download it, and it'll look something like this. Okay, and this is an outline of the. It tells you a little bit about a reflection paper, an introduction with your thesis, your some particular questions to ask. Your body, which is topic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or however many paragraphs you're going to have. So as long as it equates to 10 pages of content. Okay, and your conclusion. Okay. So that's just a template for you to help you get started writing a reflection paper. Okay. Now, and last assignment, of course, is your final exam. And your final exam, as I mentioned, is 50 questions. And if you did well in your quizzes, you're probably going to do very well in your final exam. So you would select final exam, and then you begin the test, just like you do your quizzes. Same thing. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. That's it for assignment. Those are all your assignments. At any point you have any questions, you email me, you call me. As far as tools are concerned, downloadable software, if you need a certain software, this is where you find it. Maybe you want to check and see what hardware specifications are needed, right there. Okay. And privacy policies are all included. We use Vimeo, we use YouTube a lot. So if any other copyright is needed, I'll make sure and attach it to this here, to this section right here. Okay. And Blackboard support, as I mentioned, those 2 individuals, strictly for Blackboard only. Sandy Bogus and Rusty Klein, this is their phone number, and these are the emails, the time frame that you can get in touch with them also. If it's an IT issue, this is who you would contact, or depending on where you live. Okay. As I mentioned, make sure that you have a plan B readily available. Have 3 browsers on your dock or in your computer at all times in case you need to access one if one's not working. And then you have My Grades. But if you go to My Grades, you will notice that it follows a specific order based on course order. So for example, the first assignment that you'll see, you're going to see video reflection 1 and quiz 1. You'll see your grades here. So if you got all your points, you'll get the 120 points out of 120. You got 100 on your quiz, you get 100 over 100. And then it's video reflection 2, quiz 2, video reflection 3, quiz 3, video reflection 4, quiz 4, and it just goes on and on. So it follows that order. So if you want to see where you're at, it'll give you a letter grade as well. So you'll be able to measure and gauge where you're at throughout the semester. Okay. If at any point you have any questions, contact me. Okay, so that's it for this particular video, and I hope that was very helpful for you, and we'll see you at the next video.